Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing today? Today is January 17th. It is about 6 in the morning, and I woke up to Bitcoin under 10K. My bear scenario is absolutely coming true. If you guys enjoy these videos that I'm making for the community and just to help out in general, I'd appreciate an upvote on Steemit. And if you guys absolutely love them, of course you can share, like, subscribe to myself on YouTube and Twitter. I try to post some really good content. I get feedback from the community. I do requests on TA as well. I give general advice. Just whatever material I can just throw out there, right? And it's like throwing a lot of spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. And some of the material might help some people, some of the material might not help others. But the goal in general is to just release a lot of good content and help out people who are interested in looking for good material from an experienced trader. I've been doing this full time for, geez, how long now? I've been doing this full time where I haven't worked at my engineering job, right? Or just any of my other jobs in the past for about 8, 9 months now. And I've been trading in general for about 2.5 years now. But I think that the work that I've put in to learning how to trade, like I went to school for 7 years, guys. I studied mathematics and engineering, like in university and college, and I'm pretty sure that in 2.5 years of trading now, I've probably put in more work into it than like 7 years of academics. It's like, oh, I didn't really like any of my other jobs. I don't even know why I went to it. It's like I went to school. I started school a little bit late, like around 20, like university, I mean. So I took like a year or two off. And it's like I went back just because my girlfriend went. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to choose whatever. All right, she's studying, something in sciences. I'm going to study math. Oh, my dad's a teacher. Maybe I should become a teacher as well. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go into mathematics and go into education, drop out of education, just keep studying math there. What the heck do I do with a math degree? Go work for a few years in retail, not do anything with math, then go into engineering, and then graduate with that, and then hate all the jobs. And then it's like, okay, maybe I'm just gonna get into this whole Bitcoin thing, and have never regretted it since. And since the 2 years, 2.5 years that I've been trading, I've probably looked at a lot of charts, lots and lots of charts in general, and it's become kind of an addiction. And now I'm really interested in what Bitcoin is doing because I've got a chance to catch the very bottom, and you guys should be excited about that too. You have a chance to catch the absolute very, very bottom soon, and depending on your ability to take pain and how much you can take of it, well, even if it rolled down a tiny bit more, it can only go down so much more before it hits key points and the whole market decides this is it. Not only that, there are a lot of people in short positions as well, and to close a short position, you have to go long, right? You got to close your short position by buying, right? So there's still a lot of people. The ratio is about 24,000 Bitcoins who are long and about 12, 13,000 that are short. Those people will eventually close their coins, right? By buying into the market. And when that happens, of course, the market can cause a rally as well. Because when you're borrowing on a margin trade to short, you're borrowing from the exchange, right? Or from the lenders, basically. From the people who are funding, right, to get a percentage gain compounded daily on their Bitcoin or whatever. So because you're borrowing your coins from them, you got to pay them back, right? That's just how margin trading works. If you guys haven't seen my margin lending video and my shorting video, so it could cause a spike, and we don't know when that'll be. But what we do know right now, just looking at it from afar, is that the market is very interested. Okay. The market is very interested in what's going on based on the moving average volume starting to pick up. What we'll see soon is this, right? It's starting to curve like that, and eventually it will spike back up. So we see a volume declining here, but nevertheless, it's relative. When you compare the volume from here to here, it's absolutely higher, right, than a lot of these regions over here. But we'll see what happens. So now that it has broken the 55 moving average, historically we haven't successfully closed below it for a long time with conviction since, we can say over here, since March of 2017. Here as well, this was the July, which is July 15, 16. This was September 15, 16, right? This was like November 12. and here was December 16th, 17th. It seems like those sell-offs happen between the 14th and 16th. So we see it close well below the conviction. Now the 55 moving average is irrelevant to me. So I'll change the moving average to the 100 moving average, right? Not only do we close below the 50 moving average, we haven't closed below the 100 moving average successfully with conviction since like 2016, guys. Since 2016, and we leveled off there. The daily actually went into the negative histogram. Here, the daily is now in a negative histogram as well for a few days now, right? And we are successfully, okay, I shouldn't say successfully, okay? We still have about 13 hours to go until it closes, right? This is the time right here for the exchange time. Actually 12 hours to go. At midnight, this is just 12 p.m. They're ahead of me by 6 hours. So unless Bitcoin spikes somehow back up to the $11,200 ranges, then we will not have successfully closed below it. But as it stands right now, we have not closed successfully below it yet, because this is just the body that's intercepting it, and the wick is not even rejecting it. If that candle is slightly higher, that means it would have rejected the wick there, or it would have rejected the 100 EMA. That would have been a good sign. But as it stands right now, the market psychology is very scary, okay? What it means right now on the 100 moving average is that the bulls have attempted to push back up to the 11,500 ranges, but the bears have now successfully defended, and they've defended with the long wick, and they've pushed it all the way down over here, right? They've pushed it all the way down over here, and then the bulls have pushed it slightly back up, right? That's what it looks like right now, that it was pushed up all the way down. It reached a pretty low low, and now right there it's upticking a little bit because it reached a pretty low low. So here, guys, it seems like my scenario was coming true, where we said to ourselves yesterday that this cannot be right. 1, 2, 3, right? And then this is 4 areas, and then this is 5. We said it couldn't be right because wave 3 is really short. So what we said yesterday was that this must be right then. Something like that. Oh, I'm starving, guys. Do you guys hear my stomach growling right now? Oh, I cannot wait to have breakfast. It's going to be so good. And now this looks more right. Do you guys like having, you know, dinner for breakfast? Or having breakfast for dinner? Man, I love doing that. Like for dinner, I'd make like, you know, eggs and bacon and, you know, toast and stuff like that. But then again, I always eat alone, so I can do whatever I want. But what I don't ever do is cook extravagant meals, because when you live alone, yeah, you don't really cook a lot. I just order a lot of food. I'm probably like super unhealthy, being in front of the computer for 16 hours a day, trading, doing TA, staring at a computer with a not ergonomic mouse or keyboard. So my wrist is probably gonna like explode soon. If not, I should have carpal tunnel like really soon. But I'm Asian, you know. Asians are like bred to like be professional gamers. Yeah, we're gonna win esport games. We're gonna play Dota, League of Legends. You know, that's what we're like bred to do. So I think that it's in our genes as well, and we're also made to play piano. You know, like obviously all Asians can play piano. Yeah, baby, you be doctor or piano. I not want you to do anything else. Okay, you understand? So like we're made to like use our hands or our fingers, you know, and we're also made to do like manual labor. Like manual labor is something we're really good at. We can stand up doing that crap for like years, you know. We would like die for some things, you know. So because of that, I firmly believe it's in our genes. Like, this is not racism or anything, okay? This is not like, you know, Asian supremacy or anything like that at all. But I just think that we're like made to play things like pianos and you know, and be professional gamers. And we're also made to study, you know? We're also made to study a lot to become doctors. So we have to use a pen and a paper a lot, right? And, you know, we have to write with pencils, and we have to use computers a lot. So because of that, I think that we're not prone. We're like very resistant to things like carpal tunnel, right? Do you guys know what I mean? So it's like evolution, right? You know, evolution has made us not superior, but like it has strengthened those abilities of ours to use a mouse and a keyboard for a long period of time. So you don't hear a lot of Asians like, yeah, I've got carpal tunnel. Like they don't say that. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't happen. That's like saying, yeah, I'm Asian. I've got 10 merits on my driver's license. It just doesn't happen. Like we're Asian. We're just bad drivers. Just really bad drivers. There's no way. If an Asian person said to me, man, I've got like 10 merits, which is like the maximum you can have here in my province in Canada, I'd be like, man, what drugs are you on? 10 merits, show me. And I'd be like, I'd give you all my cryptocurrency if you had 10. So I know he's lying, right? So so that's how, like, I've never heard of an Asian person having carpal tunnel before. That's just saying. But back to Bitcoin, okay, guys. Like, sorry, I sideways there for a little bit. I was just complaining about my hand there, and then this happened. So, guys, if that was wave 2 right here, then we're gonna look for a subwave inside of this wave. And this one is not wave 1, I would say. It might be wave 1. If this was wave 1 there, then this would be 1, 2, 3. This would be wave 5 already. And we still got one more to go, which is a possible 8 to 10K scenario, right? Well, now it seems very likely that it's going to go there. So I'm just counting my Elliott waves right now. And I count 1, 2, and I count a subwave was this subwave right here. Like if this was 1 right there, then we're right, okay? Then we're right, and we will have a small uptrend here because that's 3, 4, 5. But if I'm wrong, and we call this 2 over here, because that made a different kind of correction, then wave 5 over here is extended even more because we're counting it wrong, right? So it can be very subjective as well, but we'll see if we can get on a different time frame. So what I'm saying is that this is, no, that can't be right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think there's still a little bit ways to go. Where we've got excuse me, I've still got like, I'm getting the flu, and I know that I am. So before we get into anything else, we want to go to indicators. We want to go to indicators and look for a bullish sign. Nope, this is not a bullish sign. The histogram is ticking incredibly hard on the daily chart. It's probably going to end up rounding off like that eventually, like it always does. 4-hour chart probably negative. RSI. RSI is very negative. What we want to do is see a rounding off, okay? This here, it would make a small bull run, right? That's where it jumped up from 10,700 to 11,005 again. And then while I was sleeping, in the past 8 hours, it did that. It downticked. So we want a rounding off like that. When it rounds off like that, this will happen as well, right? But that's not going to be for a while, guys. Here, it has not officially curved yet. We want a rounding off even on the short time frame. So when these start to round off right here, what ends up happening is it'll also affect the higher time frames, right? So just keep going lower. So here we still haven't had any rounding off yet, but what we do see is that it's not going lower right now. It's not that low yet. So we want a small rounding off here. We want a small rounding off here as well. People thought it was going to make a bull run there and go up, but the higher time frames were not low enough yet. That's why I made a bear scenario. That will most likely do something like that over time. Are we getting bullish divergence across the board? Sort of. Not can't really tell yet. But is the 5-minute one getting a high RSI? No, guys, it's not. Right? So I went to bed at around like 9, I think 10, 11 o'clock, right? That's where we hit really low here, the 900s. And then we spiked back up to like 11.4, and everyone thought, hey, that was the bottom. But we all knew that was the top. Or sorry, everyone thought that was the bottom and this was going to go up. But we knew that this was near the top because the RSI on the 5-minute chart couldn't even break into bull territory. You guys want to see bull? Like a small bull run? Even for a correction? Like, I'll show you guys what a bull run is for Bitcoin, okay? Trust me, when you guys see this, you'll be like, oh, okay, wow, that's a bull run for Bitcoin. like a bull run. I'm just gonna show any of them, like for a slight uptrend where we're hitting 80, 90 RSI. Okay, those are bull runs right there. Not only that, the high time frames need to hit a bull run as well. So if you guys look like on a really high time frame, this is what a bull run looks like. The only reason we had a slightly high RSIs in these regions during correction is because this is the ABC's region right here, right? The A to B and the C somewhere, whatever. I'm just drawing it arbitrarily. This is not the actual place. So the B is the counter trend to the trend, and the trend is down right here, right? The main trend is up, but ABC in general is the counter trend. A goes against the trend here, against the main trend, and B goes against the trend of the trend, so it goes with the trend, right? And then C goes against the main trend, and it goes against the previous trend, right? Which is down, down. So that's why we're getting bull runs up there. And look at their 2-hour chart, right? These are bull runs on an impulse move up. These right there are bull runs. You see it spiking on a 2-hour chart to insane RSI. We're talking like 87, 90s, right? And the only other time you see it spike somewhat relative to that is this right here, because that's the A run, or sorry, the B run coming down. And now we have to remember that the reason I mentioned 8,500 to 10,000 was because this is a critical point right here. Like 10,500 to 8,500 right there. And obviously this higher point didn't hold, right? So that's why I was saying that if it doesn't hold, there's a good chance we're going to go into this territory between 10,000 and 8,500. Now, this is why these regions are critical to hold. It's because there's a lot of activity. There's a lot of activity right here and price action going on. Think of this right here. That was a form of resistance. It's now a support. So when you're going upwards, right? When you're going upwards, you have major support. Like this, or resistance. For example, these regions right here was a resistance area, right? And then the next one was right here. That's why these regions are meeting it right here as it goes up. And the opposite also applies when you go down. When you go down, because this region right here was a support, or it's a support now, right? It was a resistance before. But before we had some very different zones. We had like 10,000 to 10,500, and now we're moving the zone down to a lower tier of support there. So I consider them like an upper tier and a lower tier. Now this is a crucial time, right? This is a really, really critical time right now. And I think that we're very, very close to the bottom. But if we count our Elliott waves like the way I was counting them earlier, or even if I counted it like this, okay, just for argument's sake. If I count it like that, that makes 1, 2, and 3, 4, and then this is 5 right there. For all we know, this could get a double bottom. But regardless of the Elliott wave count, which is sometimes irrelevant it's hard to count sometimes for the future, right? Some of them are very hard, some of them are easy. This one was hard. So at first, we all thought, yeah, it's gonna make a nice little wedge, right? Oh, sorry, not there. We all thought, yeah, it's gonna make a nice little wedge. Oh, I don't like being sick, guys. I don't like being sick. Like that, or it was gonna make a wedge. I guess something like that. That would have been an ideal scenario, right? Something like that, or maybe like that, right? But of course, it broke through it. Then after that, everybody probably thought, yes, it's gonna make a descending triangle, and then it's at least gonna get a bounce, maybe, regardless of how you count it. There. Oh man, I'm sorry for doing that in front of you guys. And people thought it might have gone to 15,500, right? That was a possibility. And then now, these shapes are completely discarded because it's disproving it. I'll be right back in a second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So now we have the support line that's being drawn right now. Kind of like that. We're taking some major relevant support points on a daily chart as best as we can. And sometimes we want to draw it to fit our criteria, which is not fair, but of course we can't help it, right? I consider these just basically one long wick. And then when you go over here like this, it's kind of meeting our buy zone of around right there right now, right? But of course, if we drew it body to body, like this instead, okay, at the most extreme end, we still get a possible case for an 8K scenario. So these are very subjective how we draw these trend lines, right? We don't really know exactly until we get more cases of them. So this one right here looks incredibly good for now, doesn't it? So regardless, it stands. Is this going to be a buy zone? But right now, the most critical point is $8,500 to $10,000 for Bitcoin. If that doesn't hold, then unfortunately we'll see a lower support range over here. And this support range will most likely be between like 7,800 and 8,500. And if that doesn't hold right there, then we are going to be going down to here. Now, as nice as it would be to just make like predictions and talk specifically about buy here, sell here, I don't think it should work like that, right? We have to be responsible for watching the indicators ourselves. And as it stands, there's not a single bullish candle that's supporting, like here's actually kind of bullish. This is an inverted hammer, right? I'm going to show you guys on Google what an inverted hammer is. Inverted hammer looks like this. An inverted hammer could be the signal of a downtrend, right? Or sorry, the signal of an uptrend. When you see it on the bottom, on the very, very bottom, it usually signals that the bulls are at least trying to push it up, but they're getting rejected. Now, if you see an inverted hammer on an uptrend, that's called a shooting star. So the terminology is a little bit different. Here's a normal hammer, right? So, for example, someone made this. When found in a downtrend, buyers were able to drive up prices, sellers were able to drive down prices. The buying pressure found in the downtrend calls the trend into question, right? So it means that the bulls have attempted, and this one I just saw recently, that's why I haven't said it, and I think I've been and it might have just formed, because I've been making this video over 30 minutes now, and this one just formed like 15 minutes ago. So now, okay, now that we're positively upticking a little bit, we might even question this. Is this the bottom right there? Right there, okay? It's positively ticking in the histogram. So the inverted hammer implies that the bulls have pushed it up, but the bears have rejected it and pushing it back down. But at least the bulls are trying. They're now getting on the offense. They're trying to push up right now, right? They're attempting, and the bears are defending, but it calls into question the play there. So are the bulls actually gaining control a little bit? So that's something that we've got to constantly be asking. Now here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this the fifth one, right? 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, we have to look, and we have to look at this wave right here. So if this final wave right here, okay. I mean, we have to try to count 5 waves, and if I counted it here, it wouldn't make sense because that wave 3 is now shorter than wave 1, right? Like that. So none of that is valid as well. So this wave count is very hard to count, and if you guys got any ideas, definitely let me know. So this one is put me lost into words sometimes. I think that might have to be 1 over there, and if that's 2 right here, then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and we have 4 right here. This one's got a chance now, if this is the right wave count, to ride up to about $12,000, okay, to about $12,000, and then we might make one more bounce down to over here in this range. But as it stands, guys, that's pretty much the only bullish side that I have, other than, let's see on the 15-minute chart. Other than the 15-minute chart as well, it might want to curve upwards. So I'm now calling a trend into question. I stand corrected, guys. I just saw this hammer, or that inverted hammer candle form recently. The 15-minute one formed a doji as well. That's the first successful candle that we've had. We've had since like yesterday morning. That is slightly supportive. So yeah, I'm going to call it the trend in question. I'm going to say that this is a critical support zone regardless, okay? between 8,500 and over 8,500. I'm gonna highlight it here. Over 8,500 and over 10K is what I meant to say. 10K especially because it's a psychological number, and that's what I was mentioning. But as it stands, guys, don't forget that we are still in a short-term or in a medium-term bear trend right now. We have nothing else to assume it. All that we're getting is from the very low time frames right now that we're getting slight support for the temporary, for the time being. That is it, guys, okay? So please play extra cautious and don't get yourselves liquidated by taking chances. Make sure you stick to your stop losses as well. Just giving general advice out there, not financial advice, right? That's what I would tell anybody or all of my friends. That if you're really in doubt, at least wait for an uptrend to confirm it, and then you go into it. You don't need to have the FOMO of buying them, especially at the bottom and only at the bottom. For experienced traders, of course, you want to maximize your gains, right? You want to maximize your top line revenue or profits, and you want to minimize your bottom line risk in general. So we want to catch the very bottom, right? But if you guys don't have any sort of risk management system, which is of course something that you guys will get to eventually over time, because it just becomes a natural part of the progression of learning how to trade successfully, right? If you don't have a good risk management system, you might want to wait to have an uptrend confirmed first before you just buy and hope for the best right now, okay? Unless you have at least stop losses and you have a way of shedding risk or just managing your risk in general. So those are my thoughts on Bitcoin right now, that we are finding slight temporary support found, okay? Temporary support found at 10K region psychologically, but we still have to hold above it, okay? We still have to hold above it, and I kid you not, like if we get to the 8,500, like as soon as we shoot below, see 9,500, guys, 9,500, it could be a free fall down to like 8,500. I just want to be very clear about that as well, okay? That Bitcoin right now, the volume is definitely like people, it's starting to pick up slightly over here on the downtrend, but right now today is still really low. The green volume is obviously declining as well. So we want to wait for a moving average spike volume, right, where it goes like that, like I was mentioning earlier. So that's it. I wanted to keep it fairly short compared to my hour videos. If you guys enjoy these videos, you're welcome to upvote them on Steemit, where I'd really appreciate it. You guys should probably create a Steemit account yourselves as well, and just try blogging on there, guys. Just try blogging on there and write about something that's interesting, that's unique, and you guys might get compensated on there. Not only that, like Steem is really cool, right? The way it works, the community as well. Just the cryptocurrency, it's spiked up over like over 1,000% in the past few months. Like this is me not shilling, right? You guys know me. I'm always talking about the coins that I'm very interested in general from a TA perspective, right? And the fact is, it's shot up 1,000% from 80 cents to $8, and the community is growing huge, guys. If you look at the stats, with just users and payouts in general, and how many people are posting now, how many people are flocking in to use Steemit. It's a cool alternative to Reddit, and I think it's going to be a pretty hot coin this year in general. I don't have any Steemit, like I don't hold bags of it. I'm just being honest, right? You can see anybody's public profile. Like I've got $238 worth of Steem only. That's nothing, right? I've got 41 Steem power. So that just goes to show that I'm not shilling or anything in any way for them, right? I just like the community, and each one of my posts, they reward me a few cents for writing them. So yeah, so in a way, it's a way of you guys supporting me as well. So other than that, guys, oh, the Steemit post, it was on the different monitor. Here, I'll show you guys it really quickly. This is what I was talking about, right? This is my wallet right here. So I've got like $238 of Steem. You can see anybody's wallet that you go to. If you go to, for example, I'll just go to a random person, like this person who's in my feed, right? He's got like 5,000-6,000 followers. You can click on their wallet. This guy's got $1 million worth of Steem there. So yeah, so he was investing in it pretty heavily there. So yeah, so other than that, I really appreciate if you guys just do something small for me like that and just upload me on Steemit there. So other than that, have a great day, and I'll give you guys an update sometime down the road. So take care. Please be extra cautious. Don't take risks. It has to hold above 10K. If it doesn't, we are most likely going to visit the low 9K regions first, and then 8,500-ish. So take it easy, guys.